Back to the Trump presidency and Face the Nation's Margaret Brennan joins us from Washington, D.C. Margaret, good to see you. The president touted the strong economy today, and that's what the administration hoped the headlines would be in light of his former personal attorney Michael Cohen's daily revelations. Is it working?
Well, the president is getting a lot of credit for that GDP number, but the question is how long that good news can last and whether that would be jeopardized by his trade policies. Remember, it was just a few days ago that the White House put together a $12 billion package to, as some say, bail out American farmers who've been hurt in the trade dispute. So really, the White House was hoping this good GDP number would give them some leeway politically on that front to keep going with this trade fight a bit longer. We're going to talk to Larry Kudlow, the economic director at the White House, about that on Sunday. As for the legal problems or potential ones swirling around the presidency and the president's former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, we will be asking those questions of Rudy Giuliani, who is the current attorney for President Trump and who has been disparaging Mr. Cohen, saying that all these allegations will ultimately be proven either untrue or the president himself will be shown to have done nothing wrong.
So how significant is it now that Michael Cohen says is talking about that now infamous Russia meeting at Trump Tower and saying that it had the blessing of Mr. Trump despite numerous previous denials that he had any knowledge of it?
Well, it's a damaging headline, but the questions that follow are pretty meaningful here. And that is, why is Michael Cohen having this play out in the press and publicly? Why not, if this is ultimately about cooperating with a special counsel's probe, do this privately in a way that would gain him some sort of legal protections? So it is raising questions about why he is doing this in the public space, particularly when he's got really no direct focus within the special counsel's probe at the moment, but really is dealing with a lot of allegations of financial misdoings, fraud, other issues in a separate probe being conducted out of Manhattan. So there's a lot of unusual attention here on this case, in part because while Michael Cohen has made this allegation saying that the president knew in advance of that meeting with the Russian attorney, he hasn't given any proof so far. And remember, earlier this week, he did turn over tapes that did prove conversations at least happened about paying off a woman or an organization that had bought the story of a woman who said that she had an affair with the president.
All right, never a dull moment. Margaret, thank you. Good to see you. And catch Margaret on Face the Nation Sunday morning at 10:30, and then stick around for Facing South Florida with Jim DeFede. Jim's guest this week is Republican gubernatorial candidate Adam Putnam. Catch their interview at 11:30 right here on CBS 4.